Previously on Lady Hart. But I'll be honest with you, this was a little too easy for me. And in a move that will surprise absolutely no one, I'm now going to create an entire outfit out of it. I'll be posting updates of the process in future videos. It's a future video. Now, I love making costumes out of unusual materials, you may have noticed. I just don't think budget should ever limit your imagination, and I feel that experimentation is conducive to imagination. Which brings us to today's episode. Now, a little birdie told me that a certain burlesque troupe absolutely loved my frames outfit from my craft testing and Gothla videos, and I realized, yeah, I never finished it because life happened.
Life is still happening.
Now, since that costume does need some repairs, I thought it would be the perfect time to take you through how I put this costume together out of light air dry clay. Now, the wonderful thing about this stuff is that it's really, really easy to work with, and it dries into this sort of like foam finish, which is light as air. There's also a lot of shit things about it, but we'll get to that later on. I managed to order a huge bag of this stuff online for $16, so it's going to last through not only this project, but lots of others too. I'm pressing the clay into the molds and letting it dry a little bit, as that makes it easier to get out of the mold. Once they're out, I trim off all the excess clay, cut out the middle, and leave them to dry overnight. Once they're dry, I paint them with a very watered down metallic gold paint. This is so cool. Look as the gold picks up all the little details from the mold. It's like magic. Once the paint is dry, I then also coat each frame in some Mod Podge matte finish. I mentioned I made this costume as my outfit for Gothla, which, by the way, is one of my most viewed videos ever, so thank you so much. I can only assume this is because of our incredible rap skills.
You best step back, cause I'm a kill. I'm a kill.
So after a night of way too much fun, here's the state my top was left in after Gothla. As you can see, there are some frames missing and some are broken. I'm going to replace out all of the broken ones with new frames. Now, to make this top, I used gold jump rings that you can just thread straight through the clay and then close up with some jewelry pliers. I didn't actually make a proper bottom for this look, so I'm going to do it now. Using clear vinyl, I've glued frames straight onto it in the shape that I want, and I'm cutting off the excess plastic all the way around it. To finish the bottom, I just added longer strips of clear vinyl and just some Velcro to do it up. Normally I'd use snap clips or a better fastening, but this will do in a pinch. I'm also threading jump rings through the clay and the plastic and adding more chains to match those on the top and on the headpiece. Speaking of the headpiece, she's the only thing that didn't need to be repaired. I made the headpiece by threading the frames onto wire before attaching it all onto a headband base. For the front, I glued the frames together to form the rounded shape. Anyway, many months later, we're finally done. And you know what? Since I went to all the trouble of making this, we may as well shoot it. I got me a new backdrop, my fave shutterbug on board, and a free afternoon with nothing to do.
Mr. the Can.
Missed in a freaking can! Oh my god, okay. Ready?
Go.
Oh my god! That's sick!
Get out of town!
And that's my story about how I made a costume out of light air dry clay. Would I recommend making a costume out of this? No. Does it look cool? Also no. Okay. The light air dry clay is fantastic for making like small pieces, and it worked absolutely great for the headpiece. But if I was going to do this look again, I'd incorporate more of the clear vinyl into it just to give it a more sturdy structure. I'd also incorporate something using like melted tin within the molds, or even an actual clay, and see how that went.
Because just like people, this material doesn't like it when you stab holes into it and can easily tear if you're not careful.
But she works for a photo shoot, and that was a really fun experiment. I can cross off my fuck it list.
Don't you mean bucket list?
No, I mean fuck it list, because fuck it, I'm gonna make it for fun. Oh, did you want to see how the photos turned out? Yeah, alright. And that just about wraps us up for another episode. That was fun. If you'd like to see me make a particular costume piece or out of a certain material, let me know down in the comments below. And while you're there, make sure you do all the YouTubey things like subscribe, share, like, compliment my hair. Thank you for joining me once again. I have been Lady Hart, and you have been an audience. I'll see you real soon.
Lady Hart, thank you. We love you, Lady Hart. Yes.
You're all doomed. Doomed. Doomed.
Do you like my new drawing room? I'm going to do drawings in here.